this will never be a shelf queen. Because at the end of the day, if I have to show the view, I cleaned the inside of the crank. I got it crankcase. Got it pretty damn clean too, boy. Here's what I used to clean it with. At the end of the day, I want to keep it a Hyper 7. That's the thing, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. This car right here, in my mind, this is a classic. Work your way through some low-C diffs if you haven't yet. Excuse me, and you'll understand. Boy, look at that. Look at that. It's all worth it, though. But we're going to have some fun. Look at this fine woman right here. But Nitro RC is about this. I actually prefer the TLR gaskets over the HPI ones. They're just a tad bit thicker, and it allows for better mesh, in my opinion. I mean, it got down. I mean, trust me, it is a monstrous engine. A lot of you that have been with our channel from the early days will know that while it's something I don't do a lot of now, you know, I have worked on Nitro engines before. This is, you know, nothing new to me, I guess. So this is an OFNA 086. A lot of people want to know the differences between the OFNA and the Dynamite. I'll go ahead and just quickly walk you through them. I'd say the biggest difference is the header. This header here, you can see that the OFNA has is more of a rectangular type header, as well as the back plate on it. It's got a lip that goes around it. Whereas the Dynamite one has more of a curved header and more of a circular lip. The finish is also something I think that is a major difference. That is if you're into your shelf queens. But we all want our pipes to look nice. This pipe here has probably twice as many gallons as this pipe. And these are both the same style finish, both the high gloss pipes. The other thing is the reinforced stinger. You can see here that the Dynamite one has a reinforced stinger, the OFNA one doesn't. Just looking at the pipes, you would think that there would be a weight difference then. So in other words, reinforced stingers, that doesn't mean much to me. I've never bent a stinger. So you would think that's additional weight. Here's the OFNA one. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 springs going around the manifold. And it's going to weigh in at 3 pounds, 6.5 ounces. Here's the Dynamite one with the reinforced stinger. It's got 6 springs around it, so more springs. You'd think it's going to be heavier. It weighs in at 3 pounds, 0.3 ounces. So it's lighter as well. I don't want to say significantly lighter, but 10 grams is quite a lot. Now for the hell of it, let's go ahead and throw the Novarosi version of it in. This is the 9886. It's got a 41001 header on here. Excuse me. And this one actually is lighter than the Dynamite. This is, I think it's just 3 pounds right on the nose. I would say that the Novarosi version is the smoothest of them all. I would say that this one here, the OFNA 86, probably... it's got a little bit more grunt to it than the Dynamite. This one, the OFNA one, certainly roars more than the Novarosi. The Dynamite one, though, will RPM its ass off. So in other words, let's just go down them. Smooth, good high RPM, a little bit more torque, good high RPM. That's the 086 series for you. Of course, the real test is when you augment them with the respective engines. So as an example, I would say that the 086, the OFNA version, does better on this clock P5 than any of the other two. But then again, maybe on something like an OS, the dynamite one outdoes the Offna one. So it really just depends. But this is just all talk. You know, I'm going to show each of the pipes that I just mentioned on this clock P5 here pretty soon. I'm into right now, but it's raining. Got the body on this bad boy almost finished. This clocked 28.5 was in really good shape. It had what appeared to be like a scratch or a ring around the top of the sleeve, but it was actually a like just built up gunk, right? So for whatever reason, it left a little layer of gunk as it would get higher, and I think what was happening is the gunk got so thick that it was affecting the piston as it would travel to the top of the stroke. So I was able to get that off, but other than that, yeah, the bearings are real smooth on it. I mean, it's pretty much just, I don't want to go too much on it, but it's smooth, real smooth. It's not an Offna throttle mod, it's actually a throttle mod. Any of these pieces right here will work. These are just, you know, pieces that I've collected, I guess, from different link setups. And some of these are Offna parts, some aren't. So, in fact, the pieces that I'm going to use are not Offna. This is a Mugen MBX6R, and it's bad to the motherfucking bone. Just going to quickly rebuild the center diff. It's a nice diff right there, baby. Yeah, I don't want XT. I mean, look, right, durability aside, boy, it's a demon. I mean, it handles like nobody's business. I probably change, this is no joke, I'd say at least 2 differentials a week. Rebuild, take it apart, refill it. And that's not like a, you know, I'm not bragging. I don't walk around my office with, like, you know, #1 hat on saying, no, I change 2 dits a week. It's just, it's a fact. Let's face it, guys, you got a badass engine, you got a badass Nitro RC vehicle. And of course, to me, that's controlled power. I know there's a lot of folks, you know, they like the ragdoll engines, and I have those. You know, and the cool thing to do with those, like, the more powerful you get, the more you want to control it. So I don't really care how, you know, how the car behaves going 1 to 3 feet. I care how it behaves going 1 to 20 feet. Cleaned off the cooling head, every single fin, everything on it. It's clean as it can be. I have some decisions to make with respect to what it is I'm going to run on this Hyper 7 now. You can see right here, I've just rebuilt this B5. I think just on the interim basis, I'm going to try it out on here. But the B5 is nowhere near, I mean, it's a powerful engine, don't get me wrong, but see, this vehicle here has been built and designed to handle world-class power. So upstairs in a box, unopened, not a drop of fuel in it, I've got an Overossi Bonito that I'm probably going to try, because I definitely want to stick with a 21 engine. But even that Bonito, as powerful that thing is supposed to be, I don't know if, you know, if that's going to be enough. So I'm looking at either getting an OS Speed Spec 2, or I'm thinking about maybe that Virtus. Not the first, certainly won't be the last part of the game, but No one to blame but myself. Kind of walk you through what the hell was going on in my mind. This was an interesting runaway. It happened, I'd put about maybe 3/4 of a tank through it, and here you can, after the second time I go back to neutral, you can hear it suddenly just take off. First thing that goes through my mind is, oh shit, it's a runaway. So once that sets the situation, the first thing I think of is to turn. My thinking here is that I want to flip the vehicle, but what happened was it didn't flip, and at this point I'm literally cursing myself for the setup that I have on it to where it can turn at high speeds. So it's not going in a perfect circle though. It's kind of going in a circle but still moving toward a house. And finally I just said, fuck it. And I let it go. And the next thing that happened is I'm thinking about the neighbor's house who it's going to go into, try not to get it into his garage. He's an ex-NFL player. And I didn't want to have that conversation with him. Luckily, it ran into a tree in his lawn, flipped over, and then it just died. Now, there's no damage that I'm aware of to any property or to the vehicle. The engine's fine. I took it out. I finished out the tank. Everything ran fine, but I do want to take it apart just to check everything. Now, there's no damage that I'm aware of to any property or to the vehicle. The engine's fine. I took it out. I finished out the tank. Everything ran fine, but I do want to take it apart just to check everything. And like I said, it's part of it. I'll probably hit double digits now for runaways, and that would have been close to being the worst. This truck actually went all the way down the freaking street once before. I mean, it just hit a straight line and went, literally to the other end of the street. But, you know, it's how it goes. I personally think the best thing is just to be mentally prepared in the event that you do have a runaway, because if you haven't yet, it's going to happen. You run your vehicles long enough, it's going to happen. I've been wrong when I've stated that the Hyper 7, its history is based on bashing, that it's a true basher. It's not. It's a race machine. That's where its bloodlines are. That's where it came from. Of course, back in the day, a race machine, as today's race machines, they don't break, right? They hold up. I think what happened was during the course of Hobeo Offna's battle with Kyosho and Team Losi Racing, that, you know, eventually Offna said, you know, screw it. They couldn't handle a lot of the progressive designs that were coming out, so they kind of took that me don't break mentality, and they don't. They do not break. Now, I mentioned before that I really think that I can do a standing backflip with this clocked Novorossy 28.5. I'm basing that just on the fact that, I've done like 1/2 of it just at quarter throttle. So I think under the right conditions, this thing can do it. In fact, I'll just say it. I'm willing to take this on if you guys would pay and donate to any damage that is incurred, because it's gonna take some practice, right? So I'm gonna beat the hell out of a body, beat the hell out of this roll cage, etc. So if you guys, you know, if I do it on the first attempt and I do it, great. But I'll show you the damage as it occurs. If you guys pay for any damage, then hey, let's go. I'm down with that. I think I can do it. The only thing I know for sure is that this clocked P5, it's definitely not coming out of this Mugen right here, because it is perfect. I just don't know. And the reason I have to be really, really cautious about this is because if whatever I get in here isn't what I want, then from a 21 engine, then I'm gonna make sure that I use that engine on something else, right? So as an example, let's say that I get that OS speed and it's not what I'm wanting. Well, I better be damn sure, you know, I can use that speed in something else, if that makes sense. But anyways, we'll see. For now, next few runs at least, I'm gonna check out this B5 on it. I'm gonna try every damn engine in it. Don't worry, you guys will see footage of shit. You're gonna see the clock 28.5 in this bitch. You know, plus the Benito, all that other stuff. But it's just, I just gotta kind of think through all of it. But the bottom line is this. This, and I've said it before, this vehicle here, this Hyper 7, which is, it's a mean son of a bitch, I guarantee you. This will always, always have our most powerful engine. Hell yeah.